The schedule, ladies and gentlemen, the schedule. All right. I think when it comes down to this year, you got to mix here, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be too hard, but there's enough competition to really, really challenge these Bills, especially before they get to the end of the season. Now, obviously, week one, Arizona Cardinals. Things have changed for the Cardinals, right? From, picking up Harrison, the running situation over there has changed. The defense is changing. So I think Arizona is definitely going to be in a position to start off fresh. You're going to have Kyler Murray coming out, trying to actually prove himself hopefully this year. So we'll see how that goes. I think this will be a good game. I think it's going to be a good match starting off for week one as a season opener. I'm obviously going to give my Bills Mafia that one. Week two against Miami, this is going to be the test. You're already starting off with a divisional match. Miami is a force to be reckoned with. We know that. When it comes to these games, it definitely, it can go either way. I'm going to be 50-50 on this game, specifically just because of all the changes, and we've got to see what's going on with the Bills' offense in week one before I can really give a true prediction on this game. But right now, I'm going to have to be 50-50. Against the Jags, right? You got Gabe Davis going there with the Jags. You got Morse over there as the center with Lawrence now. So you got some bad blood over there with the Jags and the Bills. So I think this is going to be a good one as well. But, it's going to be, Jags coming into Highmark Stadium, so I'm going to have to give the Bills this one. Week 4 is going to be against the Ravens. Baltimore is shaking things up for real, right? You got Derrick Henry now. Mark Andrews is going to be back. There's going to be a lot going on in this game. We talked about the Ravens yesterday, and on paper, they look absolutely phenomenal. That team looks wonderful from the defensive standpoint, offensive. There's going to be so many different things that Harbaugh's going to be able to use with that Ravens team to really confuse defenses that I can see this game being a lot of trouble for the Bills. And I don't want to say it, but I think, with the Bills going to Baltimore, this could be trouble for the Bills. I think Baltimore may take that one. Next after that, you've got them going against the Texans, right? Once again, another game where you got Stephon Diggs on the other side of the field. Some more bad blood. And C.J. Stroud, he's been absolutely amazing. You got Tank Dell out there. You got Collins. There's a lot of great players and a lot of good superstars that they're going to be facing between week 4 and week 5. So it's going to be a true battle. It's going to be a true test in regards to the defense and what they're able to do moving forward in week 4 and week 5. And once again, this is going to be a true test of the defense and whether or not Josh Allen's going to have to built that chemistry up for these two significant games. And once again, this is something that I think could go either way. Week 6 against the Jets, right? The real question is whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to be back and be playing at the level that we know that he can. Obviously, we know coming back from the ACL injury, you're normally not playing at the level that you once were. Now, unless Aaron Rodgers is just some magical being and some freak of nature, I just don't see him having that same step. I could be wrong, but I'm going to have to take my Bills for week 6. Week 7 against my Tennessee Tactical Titans. I think it's going to be a good one. It's Titans. They're going to be a surprising team because the whole thing has changed. It's going to be a new squad, coming off fresh, different year, different coaching. There's going to be a lot going on there. So you really don't have too much tape on the Titans to really know exactly what they're going to do. So I will say that this might be a good one, but I'm still going to, I'm going to rock with my Bills on that. You already know how we go there. But I think that'll be a good one. Seahawks, obviously, it's the Seahawks. They're hit or miss sometimes. I'm taking my Bills on that one. I do think that Miami is going to be in a position to split potentially. So if anything, I would give with, the Miami Dolphins coming to Highmark Stadium. I'm going to give the Bills that one. As far as the Colts go, Anthony Richardson, that squad definitely changing things around. Gardner Minshew really surprised me, after Richardson went down. But now you've got Richardson coming back, so this is going to be a whole different Colts team. And then, obviously, you've got Kansas City after that, and we all know that is the game. Kansas City Bills, it is always a dogfight. It is always a show down to the zeros in the fourth quarter, and that's a game where everybody's just on the edge of the seat because you just don't know what the hell's going to happen. Now, moving forward into the bye week, after that, you've got the 49ers. It does not get easy for these Bills. It does not get easy. And this is going to be tough, right? We understand that the situation with Brandon Ayuk's going on, but I think they're going to figure it out. But the San Francisco 49ers is, in a nutshell, is probably one of the most complete teams in the NFL. So it's very tough to win against that team. And not only that, they're coming in your home. They're coming to Highmark. So that's going to be a very significant game. Let me hop into these comments real quick before we keep going. Let me hop into these comments. Shout out to you, Lutz. Happy 4th. Tactical says Texans get exposed this season. You might be right. You think everyone has, CJ Stroud's number figured out after his good season? We'll see. We'll see. Shout out to Captain Ella. What up, yo? Happy 4th to you. Happy 4th to all you guys listening. I do appreciate all you guys for rocking with us today. Reverend in the building. What up, Reverend? Says Josh is going to have to win off the field before they can win those challenging games on the field. Great leaders are able to get people to do what they couldn't or wouldn't be able to do without them. And that is exactly what I said earlier. It starts with the ability of Allen to elevate who he has right now. Because at the end of the day, like I said, no one is coming to save Allen. You're not going to have Stephon Diggs to be able to figure out how to catch that ball at a different angle because he knows how Allen throws it, or he knows he has to speed up on this route because of how Allen's going to throw this ball. That's all. That was already in tune and ingrained in people like Gabe Davis and people like Stephon Diggs and people like Cole Beasley. They already knew that because they had already built that chemistry with him. So now you have these new wide receivers who don't already have that built up, and they're going to have to take some time to adjust to it. They're going to have to take some time to really figure out and develop into that role. And that's where, him building that side of things up is really going to be crucial and significant for Josh Allen. Hopefully he can do it. Cat Daddy, what up, yo? What's going on with you? Michelle in the house. Let's go, Michelle. Wrench Gang in the building. How you been, Michelle? Hope you're having a great 4th. Hope everybody's having a great 4th, and I hope all you guys are enjoying yourself. Michelle says the schedule favors them building and getting stronger and taking on the tough end of the season. Go Bills. And you're right? Like I said, you do have a ton of, as my co-star is here. All right, I know you want the people to see you. I'll show you to the people in a second. As far as, how the schedule goes, you've got Arizona, you've got the Dolphins, you got the Jags, Ravens, Houston. This is going to be the true test. This is going to be the character build for this team coming into this season. Obviously, the Jets, Titans, Seahawks, right? That's going to be hopefully, I'm going to say a little bit less challenging. I'm not saying easier. I'm saying less challenging because we know the Jets defense is strong. Seattle's defense is going to be strong. And then obviously Titans are making some adjustments as well. All right, I see. We got to get you on the camera. All right, here we go. All right, see, you're on camera. See, there you go. And then obviously getting into back to Miami, the Colts, and then Kansas City. And then later on in the season, all right, he's out of here. Later on the season, right? San Francisco, the Rams, Lions, New England, divisional, Jets, divisional, and then, of course, New England again. So there's a great mix to, like I said, build up the character, build up the development that the Bills need, and then things get tough, right? This last stretch without a doubt, is most likely going to determine whether or not the Bills make it to the playoffs 100%. KC, San Francisco, Rams, Detroit, New England. Obviously, we don't really know too much about what's going on with New England. I have an idea. We'll get to that later. But for the most part, there's going to be a lot that the Bills are going to have to overcome. There's going to be a lot of challenges and a lot of issues because we're not even talking about the fact of injuries. I haven't even got to that side of things yet, which I do want to touch on. But yeah, that's the schedule. And that's basically what the Bills are going to be looking at coming into this season. And it's very significant because if you're not game planning in regards to obviously what you want to happen, what you think is going to happen, and then what the models are telling you, right? Because there's more than just one way that they look at this thing, that they look at things when they're game planning for the season. It boils down to not only how the team is going to be playing, but the momentum that they have, the injuries. And one thing that we really don't talk about is Josh Allen hasn't had a significant injury that's kept him from playing in a season. We have not seen that yet. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's really thinking about it. And for good reason, right? You don't want it to happen. You don't want to think about bad things happening. But the reality is, when it comes down to Josh Allen, he has not had a significant injury that has kept him from playing for a season. And as a running quarterback, he likes to take hits. He likes to run. He feeds off that. He gets his energy from that. He's fueled by that. So the body can only take so much before something decides to give. And essentially, hopefully he's able to stay healthy. Hopefully he's able to make smart decisions out there. But you do have to question, when is something going to happen? Because it's not a really if, it's a when. It's going to happen. Every quarterback has their injury. Every quarterback has to take a little bit of time off. That's the reality of things. It's not a question of if, it's when. And you're just hoping that he's able to, like I said, stay healthy, maintain his conditioning, stay focused. And I think another side of the coin that we need to discuss as well, Allen this year needs to figure out the true game plan. He needs to figure out defenses. He needs to understand personnel. He needs to know who's on the field doing what. He needs to understand his weak side. He needs to understand his strong side. And then he needs to game plan based on that and how the defense will respond on that. Because that's what's going to take him from being a superstar quarterback to a legendary quarterback. And that's what's going to get him over the hump to not only get to a championship game, but win in that championship game to go to a Super Bowl and potentially win.